Hello, you got legendary Jim Parks here, and I am at a political rally for local candidates, McLennan County government. And I would like for Mel Priest to please introduce herself and let us know why she is vying for the seat of Ben Perry, Precinct 4 County Commissioner, who's held that seat since January of 2011. Why? Why do you want that job?
I think the taxpayers of McLennan County deserve a full-time county commissioner. The current commissioner says he's a full-time commissioner, yet he's listed as a manager of several LLCs, 4 to be exact, just since he's been elected. He also is a manager of another LLC prior to his election.
Now, he's also a member of the board of the appraisal district.
Yes, he also sits on the McLennan County Appraisal District, where he voted as a county commissioner last year to give the appraisal district $640,000 more of our tax dollars. Some of that money, from what I've been told, is earmarked, even though it's not listed as earmarked for anything. But some of it, from what I've been told, is earmarked for attorney's fees. So basically, if you argue...
Twin Peaks cases.
No, sir. Actually, the attorney's fees are for when you argue your taxes and come in because you're upset that your property values went through the roof. You hire your own attorney. You're also paying for their attorney. So the taxpayers are getting hit on both sides. So our tax dollars are being used against us in the appraisal district for higher property valuations.
Okay, and you apprehended that because of your skills as an accountant.
I am an accountant.
And so you are able to get a good picture of the security of any corporation when you look at their books.
Well, it's not looking at their books so much.
Analyzing their books.
That actually helps, but a lot of it is going into the corporations and watching how their processes are and exactly what they're doing and what needs to be changed.
Okay, the people that are, for instance, on the tax appraisal board are also members of some taxing entity, such as a school board or a city council, City of Waco, City of Robinson, what have you. They're not the only people on that board, and yet we see the same people every year reauthorized to sit on the appraisal board.
Yes, sir.
So let's see, in your personal experience, didn't you experience some just catastrophic, horrendous tax increases on real property that you own there in Precinct 4?
Oh, yeah. They went up over 100% in 2015 on my property tax values on my home. I also owned a house across the road. I was training horses at the time. It was, so I had another place that my friend sold me when she got married. And they didn't raise the taxes on that house, and it's the same square footage as my house that I lived in. But my neighbors behind me built a brand new $230,000 custom built brick home. And they were trying to tell me that my 1,200 square feet versus their 2,500 brand new home was worth the same per square foot valuation, which is comparing apples to oranges. And as an accountant, there's I don't see any organization to their reasoning behind their appraisals, because the house across the street from me, they didn't raise it at all, and it's the same square footage as mine.
So that's what we're talking about when we say process. Now, it occurs to me that you have identified one other person who is a full-time member of the County Commissioners Court, and that's Kelly Snell.
Yes, sir. I've known Kelly Snell for the majority of my life, just as I've known Judge Felton, that's the Commissioner Court judge, pretty much all of my life. The other two commissioners, other three rather, not so much.
Well, now then, if Mr. Horsley is successful in his bid to become the county judge, he has pledged to work full-time. And then if you are successful, that would make 3 members of the County Commissioners Court who are working full-time.
Exactly.
Where we have really only one now.
Exactly.
So would you foresee a realignment of the good old boy system, thereby achieved by people going to the polls and pulling that lever for you?
I'm not really sure I understand your question, but
all right, the good old boy system has come under a lot of criticism.
Oh yes, definitely.
And that is based on certain relationships and interlocking directorates of various boards, and that's what we call colloquially the good old boy system.
Exactly.
Now then, if you are able to affect a change in that, it would be by affecting a change in certain processes, as you mentioned.
Yes.
That is what I mean by that. Do you see that as a viable solution, something that is actually within our grasp?
I think so. If the taxpayers will get out and vote, and we need people who are committed to the taxpayers. Back in the day, we had people who did their community service and served the taxpayers of the area for the taxpayer benefit, with them in mind on every decision. Currently, that's not happening. We've got people who owe people and who owe favors, and that's what's happening that I feel like's going on in our current local government. I attended a Republican function last Tuesday. Two people that I hold dear, that have known me all my life, did not want to talk to me. So I'm kind of getting that effect. They don't want to be affiliated with me for fear that if I don't win and that other person stays in office, they still want to keep that relationship.
Now, you mentioned that you really want to get to know your neighbors in Precinct 4.
Yes.
It's a big area, and there's a lot of room between houses, so knocking on doors is pretty tough.
Yes.
How do people get in touch with you if they'd like to get to know you?
I have my campaign page. It's Mel and the number 4, PCT for precinct, and then the number 4, so Mel4 precinct 4 at gmail.com. That's my email. You also, I have a campaign page. It's Mel Priest for Precinct 4 County Commissioner. Is
that a Facebook page?
It is. It is a Facebook page, and also my phone number, 254-717-7619. Like I said, right now I oversee 2 corporations. If I'm hired by the taxpayers, I will be a full-time county commissioner. I will not serve on any boards that could be conceived a conflict of interest, and I will not be getting into any business ventures with anyone because I will be totally concentrated and earn my paycheck with the county.
We sure look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail. And I just want to remind you that it doesn't have to be a mass event. If you want to get to know people, we put out a call to action.
Sure.
And have a meetup somewhere. 6 people.
Right.
Have a great deal of power within a voting box. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, I am interested to see what the commissioner, the folks in our precinct, and not only our precinct but our county. Each commissioner on the court represents a separate precinct, but each commissioner, their vote affects all of McLennan County. So we need to make sure we're getting people who are actually devoted, and they're not going to be self-serving, but serve the public.
Well, I sure do thank you passing good time with me.
Thank you.
And we look forward to running to you again.
Thank you very much.
Adios.